Halo, halo, witam wszystkich na następnej lekcji. Poczekamy troszkę, żeby wszyscy się gromadzili. Ja sobie też ustawię tutaj, żebym mogła widzieć, jakie mamy opóźnienie. W tym czasie, jak czekamy na resztę, wpiszcie proszę w komentarzach, skąd nas oglądacie i słuchacie. Ok, pojawiają się pierwsze osoby. Ok, witam wszystkich bardzo serdecznie w ten to piękne sobotnie popołudnie. U nas niestety pada deszcz, ale to też ma swoje plusy. Nie trzeba podlewać kwiatów w ogródku. I będziemy przechodzić pomału do lekcji. Bardzo proszę o slajdy. Dziękuję. Jeszcze tylko sprawdzimy, jakie mamy opóźnienie. Mamy kilka sekund opóźnienia. Ok, 5 sekund. W takim razie wiem, że mam czekać około 5 sekund na Wasze odpowiedzi i komentarze. No to w takim razie zaczynajmy. Maths in English lesson 3. Today's topic is subtraction problems. But before we go to talk about subtraction problems, I would like you to go back to lesson 2. This was 2 weeks ago when we were talking about addition. And just to remind you the vocabulary from that lesson, we were talking about addition problems. And the words that we were using were add, plus, and, more, total, together, altogether, increase, and sum. Today we talk about subtraction, and we're going to use subtraction to solve maths problems. Subtraction, new word, and the spelling for subtraction is S-U-B-T-R-A-C-T-I-O-N. Let's remind ourselves about the written method that we use in subtraction, and under the name for written method is column method. If we have 53 minus 41, 53 minus 41, using a written method, we're going to start from the right where we have units, and 3 minus 1 is 2, and 5 minus 4 is 1. And another example, 63 minus 27. We can't take away 7 from 3 because 3 is smaller. So we're going to have to borrow from the next column. If we borrow from 6, we're going to have 5 left in the tens column. And in the units column, we're going to have 13. 13 minus 7 is 6. And 5 minus 2 is 3. And another example, 100 minus 39, 100 minus 39. What's the answer? Can you write your answer in comments, please? (100 minus 39). I'm waiting for your answers. Let's start. We can't take away 9 from 0 because 9 is bigger, so we want to borrow from the next column, but there is nothing there because we have another 0, so we have to borrow from the hundreds column. If we borrow from there, we're going to have 0 left there and 10 here, but we want to borrow again, so this is not going to be 10. We're going to have 9 tens here, and in the unit column we're going to have 10. And we can start subtracting numbers now. 10 minus 9 is 1. 9 minus 3 is 6. And we have nothing left in the hundreds column, so the answer is 61. This was a reminder for the written method for subtraction. And we have problem solving steps. We were talking about them in the last lesson. So what do we have to do when we have a problem to solve? When we have a maths problem to solve? What do we need to do first? Do you remember the steps from last lesson? What was step number 1? What do we do first when we get a problem to solve? First, we need to read the problem because we need to know what the problem is about. The second step is we need to try to understand what the problem is about. Then we think about it, and we think about the ways of solving the problems. That means finding answers or solutions to the problem. Then we calculate. That means we work with numbers in that problem, and we try to use numbers and addition, subtraction, multiplication or division to solve that problem. Then we check if our calculation is correct. And the last step is to write the answer using a sentence. So the steps are: read, understand, think, calculate, check, and write your answer. At the moment, at the beginning of the lesson, what is our subtraction vocabulary? Which words do we know we can use for subtraction? The word subtraction, the verb for subtraction would be subtract, subtract. So we have one word, and we also know that we use minus for subtraction, and the symbol or the sign for subtraction is also minus. So we know two words at the beginning of the lesson, and we're going to check at the end of the lesson how many more words we know. We know we can use subtraction in that problem. So let's start and solve some subtraction problems. Problem number one. Problem number one. Please read with me. There are 32 TVs in the shop. 9 are sold. How many TVs are left? Let's read again. There are 32 TVs in the shop. 9 are sold. How many TVs are left? And remember, we're going to use 3 steps like last week: calculation, check, and answer. So the first step is calculation. What calculation can we write to solve these problems? Please write in comments what calculation can we use to solve this problem. So the first question is, what numbers do we have in this problem? We have 2 numbers, 32 and 9. And what words do we have in this question we can use to suggest which operation we're going to use? It's going to be the word sold and the word left. The words sold and left. What calculation are we going to use? Can you write your calculation, please? And we've got a few answers here. Okay, so the calculation would be, thank you very much for your answers, 32 minus 9 equals 23. The next step would be check. What are we going to use to check the subtraction? What are we going to use to check the subtraction? Can you write the check? And we already have some answers here. That's very good. People work really fast. So we're going to use addition to check the subtraction. So 23 plus 9 equals 32. That's a good check. And we have the next step, which is answer. Great. And I always ask my students to write full sentence, not just a number. Some people would like to write just 23, but we would like the sentence. And we've got a beautiful sentence here from Bartek. Very good. Correct answer using sentence can be 23 TVs are left. If you want a short answer, you can have there are 23 TVs left. It's a good answer. And there's also answer from Bartek. There are 23 TVs left in the shop. Beautiful answer. Well done, Bartek. And let's go to problem number 2. Okay, let's read the problem together. Max had £153. He spent £27. How much does he have left? Remember, in the UK, you write the symbol of a pound in front of the number, not after, like złoty. So the pound symbol is in front of the number. So let's go to our calculation. And again, what numbers do we have? Numbers in the question are 153, that's a number, and the amount of money is £153. And another number is 27, and the amount of money is £27. So our calculation that we can use to solve this problem is before we decide that, we can find the words that are going to suggest what we're going to use. So we've got spent and we've got the word left. And these words are saying we need to use subtraction. So 153 minus 27 equals 126. You have the same answer. I'm going to check. Look at the comments if we have the answer. Yes, we have answers like that. Right. Bartek is very fast with the sentences. Okay, let's go to the check first. Bartek, you're doing really well. Can you write calculation, check and answer and use 3 steps, please? Thank you. For the check, to check subtraction, we use addition, and we have 126 plus 27. Sorry for my writing, I'm not very good writing with the mouse. See to write in comments and type 153. So our answer as a sentence can be he has £126 left, or we can have Max has 126 pounds left. Very good. Max has got 126 pounds left. Oh, great answers. Problem number 3. We're working really fast, faster than in the last lesson. Let's read this together. Problem number 3. The jacket is reduced from £57 to £43. How much can we save? Let's read again. A jacket is reduced from £57 to £43. How much can we save? And we're looking for calculation. So let's check what numbers we have. The numbers in the questions are 57 and 43. And the words that are suggesting that we should use subtraction are reduced. And we can use another word when we have saving. Save. So reduced. Reduced means something is going to get smaller. If it's reduced about the price, that means the price is going to be lower. So, calculation for the question is 57 minus 43. And the number we get is 14. Remember, always check your calculation, and for checking subtraction, we're going to use addition. So the check is 14 plus 43 equals 57. And I'm waiting for beautiful sentences. So the answer using a sentence would be we can save £14. We can save £14. The question was how much we can save. Another problem to solve, a little bit longer. So let's read together. A doctor had 200 patients on his books last year. This year he has 189. How many more patients were there last year than this year? Yes, this is a little bit longer problem. So I'll give you a minute to read it for yourself. And let's check what numbers we have in this question. The numbers in this question are 200 and 189. So last year, 200 patients. and this year 189 patients. So what's the calculation if we're checking how many more? How many more? When we see this question, how many more? We need to use minus. How many more? So what's the calculation? And what's the check? Calculation 200 minus 189 is 11. Yes, and we're getting answers from a few people. That's very good. Well done, Cornelia. Well done, Teresa, Sylvia. And we're waiting for some more answers. And then the check. Going back and using addition. 11 plus 189 gives us 200. Right, and now what's going to be the sentence that we can use for answer? Please write a sentence that we can use as an answer for this problem. Yeah, sentence can be: there were 11 more patients last year than there are this year. So 11 more patients. 11 more patients. Let's go to the next problem. We have Anna. Let's read the problem together. Anna wants to buy a new table. There is a discount of £50. How much would she pay if the old price was £790? Okay, so the numbers in our questions, look for the numbers 50 and 790, which is the word that is telling us that we need to use subtraction. It's the word discount, because discount means something is going to be cheaper. And our calculation, yes, we're getting some answers already. Well done, we've got a few correct answers in comments. Yeah, the bigger number, 790 minus 50 is 740. And what would be the check? Remember, to check subtraction, we use addition. So going back, 740 plus 50 is 790. And we're thinking about a good sentence to answer this problem. What sentence can we have to answer this problem? The question was, how much would she pay if the old price was £790? So we can say Anna would pay £740. Remember, the pound symbol is in front of the number. The pound symbol is in front of the number. Anna would pay £740. Problem number 6. Solve. Let's read together. Today is the 18th of April 2020. What was the date 2 weeks ago? Today is the 18th of April 2020. What was the date 2 weeks ago? When we read the date in English, we actually say here there, but we don't write it down. So it's the 18th of April 2020. What was the date 2 weeks ago? And this was the date of our last lesson, because we didn't have a lesson last week. So, what words are we going to use to explain why we need to use minus? So, ago means that happened before, so it was in the past. In the past. So we're going to go back. And we also have two numbers that we're going to use, but not straight away. We need to think a little bit how we're going to use our numbers. We've got the 18th, which is the day today, and we've got the number 2, but it's number 2, and then we've got weeks, and we know that 2 weeks is how many days? How many days in 2 weeks? How many days in 2 weeks? Yeah, that's true. 2 weeks ago. Yes, so 2 weeks is 14 days. 2 weeks is 14 days. And because it says ago, we're not going to go forward, we're going to go back. We're going to go back. So what calculation are we going to use? We're going to use 18 minus, we need to do minus 2 weeks. So we're going to go minus 14 days. And the answer is 4. Well done, Teresa. 4. And for the check, what are we going to do? We use addition to check subtraction. So we're going to have 4 plus 14 equals 18. Correct check. And think about the sentence that we can use for the answer. Well done, Cornelia. Sylvia. Okay, in the question it says 2 weeks ago. Not what date is it going to be in 2 weeks. So we need to use minus, not plus. And what answer? The question was, what was the date 2 weeks ago? So we can have answer. It was the 4th of April 2020. Or it was the 4th of April 2020. And problem number 7. Okay, we've got some bills. So let's read the question together. Let's read the question together. Mike's electricity bill has decreased by £15. How much does he need to pay if the previous bill was £87? Okay, Mike's electricity bill has decreased by £15. How much does he need to pay if the previous bill was £87? Previous means the last one. So what numbers do we have in this question that we can work with? We have 15 and we also have 87. And which word in this problem is suggesting that we need to use subtraction? So minus. This word here, decreased. Decreased means getting smaller. In last lesson for addition, we had the word increase, which means getting bigger. And today in subtraction problems, we've got the word decrease, meaning getting smaller. So calculation, now we know that we need to work using 3 steps. So calculation, we are getting some already from Sylvia, Cornelia and Teresa. Well done, ladies. And the calculation is, because we know it's going to be decreased, and that means we use minus, we're going to have 87 minus 15 equals, yeah, what's the answer? 72. And the check for that calculation would be, what is the check? I'm going to use the reverse operation. And the reverse operation for subtraction is addition. So 72 plus 15 is 87. And I'm waiting for beautiful sentences from you. Can you please write, what sentence can we use to answer this problem? What sentence can we use to answer this problem? Yeah, we can have a sentence. Mike needs to pay £72. Mike needs to pay £72. Or we can write Mike's latest electricity bill is £72. That was problem number 7. I think we have 2 more. Well done, Cornelia. Very good sentence. And the pound symbol is in front of 72. This is what we need. Great. And problem number 8. Problem number 8. Let's read it together. What number do you get if you take away 13 from 157? What number do you get if you take away 13 from 157? So, what numbers do we have in this problem? We have 13 and we have 157. Which word or words are telling us that we need to use minus in this problem? Which word or words telling us that we need to use minus in this problem? Okay, there are 2 words and it's take away. Take away means minus. Take away means minus. It's also in English the way that you can call the food that you can take away. So take away is the food that you can take home and eat outside the restaurant, but it also means minus. So, calculation, this problem is, yeah, Sylvia is still with us, writing really good calculations. And Cornelia and Teresa, great. Very good. Calculations. We have, I need to take my pen again. Right. And it's going to be 157 minus 13 equals 144. Yeah, so you corrected your answer. Yeah. So, checking for this, remember to use addition to check subtraction. And we have 144 plus 13 equals 157. And now we're waiting for the sentence. It can be something very simple because this was just about numbers. So what number do you get when you take away 13 from 157? The sentence, you can just write it is 144. You can also say we get 144 when we take away 13 from 157. Or you can say when we take away 13 from 157, we get 144. And our last problem for today. Our last problem for today, number 9. Number 9. Let's read it together. What is 15 less, or we can say fewer, than 100? What is 15 less than 100? What is 15 fewer than 100? From the grammar point of view, or English grammar, we should use fewer in that sentence because we're working with numbers and it's not countable. But in maths, we also use the word less. So this calculation for this problem. Now we're thinking about it, but let's see what numbers we have here. In this question, we have numbers written using words, not digits. So our numbers are 15 and 100. 100 means 100. And the words that are telling us that we need to use subtraction is less and fewer. So what do we need to do here? What's going to be the calculation and what's going to be check? Remember, we have less or fewer, so that means we need to use minus, not plus. We're going to be using minus. So the calculation is 100 because it's a bigger number, minus 15. This is our second number. And the answer is, we've got a new person, Kasia. Yes, Kasia, you corrected your answer. Very good, well done. And then we've got Sylvia and Cornelia. Answer 85. And we go back to check. And remember, reverse operation to subtraction is addition. So for our check, we're going to use plus, not minus. And the check is 85 plus 15 is 100. Great. What's the answer for the question? A simple answer can be it is 85. It is 85 or it's 85. You can also say the 85 is 15 fewer than 100. It is 85. And it is, well done, Cornelia. Great sentence. Very simple, but good sentence. Got a capital letter at the beginning. You've got the verb is, and you've got full stop at the end. That's a good sentence. And this was the last problem for today. And now we're going to talk about the vocabulary. So what words did you see in the problems? And what words tell you that you need to use minus when you're solving maths problems? Remember, at the beginning of the lesson, we only had two words, subtract and minus. After solving all of these problems, we have a little bit more vocabulary. So can you please write in comments what words did you see in the problems that were telling you that you need to use minus? These were the words that I was highlighting. Which words were highlighted in the problems because they were suggesting that we need to use minus? Can you please write as many words as you remember from today's lesson? Okay, I'm going to give you a minute. What words do you remember that were highlighted in the problems during today's lesson? So we had subtract, we had minus, Kasia, fewer, take away, subtract. Very good, Kasia. You need to check the spelling for the word subtract, please. There is no S after B. I'm going to spell the word subtract. S-U-B-T-R-A-C-T. There's no S in the middle of the word. Well done. Number 3. And you only joined at the end, so that's really good. We had take away. Sold and left, one of the questions. Reduce. That's another word that is suggesting that we're going to use minus because the price is probably going to be lower. Discount. Ago. That means something happened in the past. Decrease. Something is getting smaller. Fewer and less. And also when we have this question, how many more, we also use subtraction. If you only see the word more, like last lesson we were using more for addition, then you can use plus. But when you see how many more, that suggests that you need to use minus. So you need to use subtraction. Okay, there are more words for subtraction, but these are the ones that we were using in today's lesson. We have used them to solve maths problems. Okay, thank you very much. Well done, everybody. We've had some very active students today with me during this live. Thank you very much for being here and for all your great answers. And I hope you've learned something today. So thank you for today. And in the next lesson, we're going to talk about multiplication problems. So next lesson, probably next Saturday, we're going to talk about multiplication problems.